Hello everyone, back to today's third and final video. So going to have a look at the weather for next week's 10 days for today's third and final video. We'll also have a recap on the snow that we've been having recently. Got some snow pictures to share with you that have been shared with me. And also we'll talk a bit about yesterday's cold weather. It has turned into, as we suspected it would, actually a historic cold spell of weather this. We broke quite a long-standing record yesterday in terms of our coldest maximum temperature. That's been confirmed by the UK Met Office this morning. I'll show you the tweet that confirmed that this morning. So quite a lot to cram in, and I'll get on with it for you right now. So we're going to start off by sharing some weather pictures. Before I do that though, just to say that today's two videos, we did Snow Watch first thing this morning, so there's more snow falling now again across England and Wales. We'll cover that a little bit for this video as well. And also, done JMA Friday, as always on a Friday, having a look at the month ahead. That takes us to the end of March. Looks like it could be a month of two halves, with the first half quite cold and still some wintry potential at times. Maybe spring arriving later on in the month. Have a look at those two videos if you'd like to do that. Right, let's get on with the third and final video for today then, and this was shared with me by Patrick. It's Barden Lake in Tunbridge in Kent. I think this was from earlier in the week when the beast from the east was really bringing in that air from Siberia, so a proper snowy old scene down in Kent. Very nice picture. This one is from Michael in Jersey. This was shared with me on Facebook. So even down in the channel yesterday, we did get some snow, and quite a deep cover of snow actually down there. They do get snow down in the Channel Islands, particularly from easterly winds. I don't think they get much from the north. Very sheltered from northerlies, but when those winds get into the east, when the beast is unleashed, then they can get quite a bit of snow down in the Channel Islands. I suspect it's all falling away right now. This one was emailed to me by Peter. This is Stratford upon Avon, deep cover of snow there with some very significant drifting after yesterday's winds. This, I saw this on Twitter, Dave Brooks in South Wales. Look at that, real drifts of snow there going over the hedgerows. That looks like a very covered up sort of outside table or seating area. Not sure what that is, but certainly it's been buried by quite a deep cover of by quite a deep drift of snow, and very snowy looking road there in the valleys in South Wales. So very significant snowfall there. This was posted to Gazzo's comment box. This is from Neil in the Black Country. Very deep snow there. I think it had about 3 inches, but more of course with the drifting. That's from last night. This is from Nigel. Nigel posted this to the comment box to Gazzo. This is the frozen River Lee in Hertfordshire. So looks like the river has frozen up there. I assume many rivers and canals, ones that aren't fast flowing anyway, have got a real cover of ice on them now. Bear in mind, you should never go onto frozen water. It may look as though it's thick with ice, but it can very easily break and you fall through. So never go onto frozen water when you see sort of lakes, rivers, canals frozen up. But the River Lee there in Hertfordshire looking very, very frozen. This is from Gavin, another Gavin in Wales, posted to the comment box at Gazzo. This again, deep snow drifting going on there. And then this one is from Ollie, posted to the comment box at Gazzo. He's not sure where Ollie is. I think he's probably down in the West Country somewhere, or around South Wales. Again, really deep snow drifting there, right next to whatever river or stream that happens to be. And again, another one from Ollie with deep snow drifting almost going over the tops of the hedgerows. So really significant snowfall across many parts of the country, courtesy of the beast from the east, battling it out with the storm, of course, that we had coming up from the south yesterday. So, yeah, if you want to post, have your pictures featured in the videos, all you have to do, there's various ways of doing it. You can post them to the comment box at Gav's Weathervid, so you have to sign up for a Discuss account to be able to do that, but you can show your pictures there. You can share them, of course, on our Facebook and Twitter pages as well on social media, or you can email them to us at gavsweathervid@gmail.com. When you have time, we're happy to feature your pictures in the video. It just depends what time we've got, really, whether we can feature them in any particular video. But get taking your pictures, and we'll feature more of them in the days ahead. Right, this is our latest observations from XC Weather. It's a very cold afternoon, although our maximum temperatures have just about clawed their way up into positive numbers now, and in fact we are up to +7 in one particular location. Down in Alderney, in the Channel Lines, up to +6. Channel Light Vessel, that's somewhere in the English Channel, I think, that's up to +7. Down across the far southwest, it's still pretty cold, but it is just about in positive numbers now. Coldrose in Cornwall, up to +2. Let's have a look at the Scilly Isles. So this is St Mary, that's up to +2 up there. So slowly but surely, we're beginning to inch our way out of the freeze in the very, very far south and southwest. But look at all this blue we've got across the country. It's still very cold in many places. We've got that weather station flashing away just there. Liscombe, we'll talk about that in a moment. They're still at -4 if we go up in towards the Midlands. So many areas still sub-zero. Churchill Orford is at -1. Let's go to another place. Cranfield is at -2. So the freeze goes on. Wittering is at -1. London Heathrow Airport, maximum temperature in the middle of London, just -2 degrees. Farnborough -2. So despite the fact that we aren't seeing quite the severity of maximum temperatures that we had yesterday, when a lot of those temperatures weren't getting much above -3 and -4, despite that, we are still sub-zero, so we're still locked in the freezer for today. We'll gradually, particularly for the south, start to come out of this over the weekend and into start of next week. But it's not getting warm anytime soon, really. It's just a gradual sort of thaw beginning to take place over the weekend into next week. Don't be thinking we've got spring on the way. It's going to take a long time to get out of this very blocked and cold weather pattern. It's not going to be straightforward, and there may be hiccups actually later next week, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Not only is it very cold again today, snow is re-intensifying. So this is the latest weather picture from the Weather Outlook. Still absolutely hammering down with snow across much of the Republic of Ireland. I don't know how much snow they would have had by now, but we must be on about feet of snow across some parts of the Republic of Ireland. Very, very severe there. And I know we do have a lot of people watching from the Republic. You must be absolutely fed up with it by now. But the snowstorm goes on for them. But we've got another front that's re-intensifying. I talked about this in Snow Watch today. This front is re-intensifying across England and Wales, and particularly through Wales into the Midlands, round the London area to the north of London, and probably going up towards East Anglia through the course of this afternoon. We could have some quite persistent and at times fairly heavy snow as well. If you have a look at the precipitation type, you'll see again most of that is snow there through England and Wales. It's hardly surprising because, as we know, the surface temperatures are still below freezing, and the dew points are still several degrees below freezing. But you have to go right way down to Cornwall and the Channel Islands to find those dew points going above freezing. So it's still a really cold day, and we still have a very strong easterly wind blowing the snow around further north. So things have improved ever so slightly compared to yesterday's severe cold, but it's not a great deal better, really. As I say, we've got more snow coming up for England and Wales in the next few hours. This is high-resolution Hallam model. I forgot to include this in Snowwatch, so I thought we'd have a look at this now. I think it's performed as good as any other model, really, in the recent days, in terms of this snow event that we've had over the past 24 hours. So this is how it was seeing things at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Very heavy snow through the Irish Sea, lots of snow across the Republic of Ireland, and then that area of mostly at that point light snow beginning to re-intensify through Wales, central and southern parts of England. Let's see how it's picking things up through the course of this afternoon. So it moves that band of snow northwards through Wales and into the Midlands. A lot of it is light, but it's very persistent. You'll notice the time is going by. This is 5 o'clock, this is 6 o'clock, that's 7 o'clock, that's 8 o'clock, that's 9 o'clock. Bit of intensification there across parts of the East Midlands, East Anglia, but the main thing is the persistence of this band of snow. Several hours of light to moderate snow will produce further accumulations, and we may, over higher ground anyway, get as much as 10 centimetres out of this. Again, an additional, I should say, 10 centimetres on lower ground, probably 2 to 5 centimetres. But it's enough for another covering, another inch or two of snow for the rest of this afternoon and into this evening. Overnight, that pushes northwards, and it does tend to become lighter and patchier as it does so, and then into tomorrow. We've got a mostly dry day coming up tomorrow, and we should see a bit of thawing as well, especially for England and Wales, not for Scotland. They're still locked in the freezer up there. 7 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, we bring rain into the far south and southwest. That could be a little bit of freezing rain going on there. And that light rain drifts northwards in towards Wales and the Midlands overnight Saturday and into Sunday. Maybe still the risk of a little bit of wintry stuff in with that as well. And again, freezing rain could be an additional ongoing hazard through the course of the weekend. This is how Euro 4 is seeing the snow the rest of today. So this is 6 o'clock in the evening. Quite persistent and heavy snow through Wales, the Midlands and parts of East Anglia as well. Also down into the southeast. This rain on the south coast, a lot of that's going to be freezing rain, so do take care if you're out and about on the south coast. It could be very, very nasty indeed, with a lot of ice starting to pile up. That's midnight. Again, that band of precipitation hasn't really moved much. It's still through Wales, the Midlands and East Anglia, so you will think the snow totals have got to be clogging up, even if the snow isn't all that heavy. Because of the sheer persistence of this, it must be starting to clock up to quite a few centimetres, I would have thought. By the time we get through to midday tomorrow, that's pushed northwards, and it is moving northwards as a diminishing feature as well. It's dying out as it heads up in towards Scotland. For southern parts of Wales, southern Wales, though, still a suggestion of some quite persistent and fairly heavy-ish snowfall, even to midday tomorrow. So more snow coming up and still very cold across many parts of the country today. Right, this is a tweet from the UK Met Office that confirms that yesterday we had our lowest maximum temperature for March in a 24-hour period on record. So it was minus 4.7, our maximum temperature yesterday at Tredegar in Wales, and so this means that we have had our coldest sort of March and also spring day on record in terms of maximum temperatures, not for a 24-hour period because the minimums, due to strength of the wind more than anything else, weren't too impressively cold overnight, but it's still a record-breaking cold spell, this, with again the lowest maximum temperature for March and for spring in a 24-hour period, and that goes to Tredegar in South Wales. Didn't get above minus 4.7, so basically didn't get above minus 5 all day yesterday. Very historic spell of weather then. And look at the central England temperature for March. I mean, it's only provisional for one day, but it just goes to show you how cold it was through the CET region. By the way, we have February CET in now, so I confirmed this in one of yesterday's videos. Can't remember which one. It's been a very long few days. But we came out at 2.9, which is nearly 1 degree colder than average for February 2018. And so that's the coldest February since 2010, the coldest February for 8 years. So we predicted when we did the winter forecast a colder winter. We predicted that one of our winter months, wasn't really sure which one it would be, and we actually tended to favour January, but we did think one of our winter months was likely to have an appreciable colder than average deviation, and we said, but whilst a severe winter wasn't expected, we did sort of think that if we got a sudden stratospheric warming going, which we had 2 or 3 weeks back, we did think that if we got a sudden stratospheric warming going, because of everything else that we was looking at in our winter updates that we did all the way through the autumn, our methodology, we thought that if a SSW got going, there was the potential for quite a severe spell, even if it wasn't going to be a severe winter. So I think overall the winter forecast has done quite well. I'm going to evaluate it in the next week or two, and we'll see exactly how it did, because we haven't got all the numbers in yet, the stats in yet for this winter from the UK Met Office. But anyway, February came out as our coldest February for 8 years. And look at March. So this is provisional just to the first day of March 2018. But it comes out with a CET for day 1 of minus 3.5 degrees, which is an anomaly for just one day, remember, of 8 degrees, 8.1 degrees below average. So it was a supremely cold day in the CET region yesterday, and that might be subject to a little bit more downwards correction actually when we get through to the end of the month. That may be corrected down a little bit more, but yeah, not very often you see a negative number like that showing up within the CET. It only happens really if you time it right to get a very cold day or two early on in the month. But there we go. It was a really cold day yesterday in the CET region. Right, let's do a bit of forecasting then. This is the temperature anomaly for the next week. It's going from the 2nd through to the 10th of March, and it's still cold on average. Now, we are reducing the severity of the cold temperatures over the next week or so, but nevertheless the anomaly for the next week to 10 days for most of Europe is coming out colder than average. Still very, very cold up in the north and the northeast, Scandinavia up to northeastern Europe and western Russia. Very cold temperature anomalies there. For the UK, it is moderating. It's not as bad as it has been, but nevertheless, the temperature anomaly will still be around 2 to 4 degrees colder than average for the 2nd through to the 10th of March. Precipitation anomalies look like that. Northeastern parts of Europe are drier than average. In the west of Europe, it's looking a little bit more unsettled. The UK and Ireland coming out with close to average precipitation, but notice France and particularly Spain and Portugal coming out significantly wetter than average. So if you want to get away from this cold weather and go and have a bit of a breakdown in Spain, take your waterproofs is the message there, because they're going to have a very wet week, I'm afraid, next week. That's courtesy of the jet stream, which is going to continue to be on a southerly track, and that's one of the reasons why coming out of this cold spell of weather is not going to be all that straightforward. So let's have a look at the GFS. This is for Monday, and we've got this area of low pressure that's just sort of sitting around the UK. To be honest, it's very flabby, and it is slowly introducing less cold air from off the Atlantic, but it's not a straightforward push of mild air. And for the north, you notice for northern parts of Scotland, actually, we are still in quite a cold sort of northeasterly type wind. There's the position of the jet stream for Monday, and it's a very long way south of us. It's tracking through the central Atlantic in towards southern Spain and North Africa. So with the jet stream going so far south, we're probably, it depends what your point of view is. If you're fed up with this cold weather, then we're lucky to be reducing the cold signal over weekend into next week. But if you like the cold weather, you're probably very unlucky, really, what's happening here, to be losing this cold weather, because with the jet stream so far south, you would normally expect the UK, with the jet stream down there, to be really quite cold. And the only reason that we've come out of this, or we're coming out of this deep freeze, is due to the intensity of the storm that brought all the snow last night. And although the storm is going to lose its intensity, of course, we're going to keep the low pressure from that storm sort of hanging around the west of Europe. If we hadn't had such a deep area of low pressure coming up over the past 24 hours. I think there's a very good chance we would have stayed locked into the freezer here over the coming days. So, and that's because the jet stream is such a long way from us. As it is, we are going to reduce the cold weather, but it's not straightforward to get out of this. So we go through to Tuesday, and we've got low pressure sort of sitting around the country as very flabby looking feature, producing showery bursts of rain. That's how Wednesday is looking with the GFS. That's Thursday. Again, just these areas of low pressure sitting around the country, producing showery bursts, maybe some longer spells of precipitation as well. In the north could still be wintry, in the south more likely to be rain. Notice the black line here is the jet stream. That's still quite a long way from us. As we go through to the end of next week, look what the GFS is doing. It's running this area of low pressure down a long way to our south, which starts to pull back cold air that's just sitting to our north. This cold air that we've got at the moment is going to be forced back just to the north of Scotland, but probably no further north than that. And if we get a trigger low, and on this particular run of the GFS, the trigger low is this. If we get a trigger low, it could easily start to pull cold air back in from the north. And that's what this GFS run does. So as we go through to next weekend, this is Saturday the 10th. It's quite a long way off. But look at this area of low pressure just to our southwest. It's pulling down cold air from the north. And that's probably another significant dump of snow developing over the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of March. We finish up going up to day 10, so the 11th of March, with that low pressure just down to the southeast. And that's bringing probably quite a lot of heavy rain, but also the risk of quite a lot of heavy snow as well. Now, I'm not saying we will get another bout of heavy snow through this second week of March, but it isn't, again, it's just emphasising the point, it's not a straightforward get out of this freeze up. And we are going to be at an ongoing risk of wintry conditions, I think, albeit not as severe as we've had. That's how things look on day 10 with the GFS. Let's rattle through the ECMWF. Again, we've got this low pressure sort of hanging around the country through the early part of next week, bringing rain to the south. Could still be cold enough for wintry weather in the north. We go through to the end of next week. I think that's the area of low pressure that the GFS is turning into a trigger low to pull down cold air from the north. The ECMWF doesn't quite do it, but nevertheless, there is still some quite cold air coming back into Scotland by Saturday, the 10th of March. So it's not all that far away from producing a renewed push of cold air from the north over the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of March. And then we go up to day 10, and by day 10 we are actually starting to revert back to a much milder push of southwesterly winds. And that's what you're looking for to properly get out of this cold weather. You are looking to re-establish the southwesterlies and bring proper mild air in from off the Atlantic. That's how most cold spells end, but this one is ending a little bit differently and not as straightforwardly. That's for GEM, so again, same idea through the early part of next week. We have those areas of low pressure hanging around the UK, which are sort of just left over from the storm, really. We go up to day 10. Now, this is the trigger low that the GFS is turning into quite a snow event for the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of March. The GEM has it around Spain and Portugal. So it's a similar idea. The cold air is trying to pull down from the north, but the low pressure isn't close enough to us to really dig in those cold northerly winds. Nevertheless, that's how we finish up on day 10, Monday 12th of March. And that low pressure is sitting down to our south with wind in from the north and northeast. I'll just show you what the wintry potential was, finally, with that GFS run. So this is how it looks on Wednesday. So there's still snow across Scotland on Wednesday, albeit at a reduced level. Elsewhere, it's dry and a gradual thaw is taking place. We go through Wednesday and into Thursday, and we're bringing rain in across England and Wales. That's suggested it might turn to snow across Scotland and northern England on Thursday. And then we go through to the end of next week. This is Friday. And that trigger low is bringing up quite a lot of wet weather into the south from Friday to Saturday. And notice it is turning it to snow across Wales, some parts of central southern England on Saturday. And then we go into quite a substantial snow event actually across England and Wales. So it's wet in the far south and southeast, but for much of Wales, the Midlands, up into eastern England, another really heavy spell of snow is setting up there from that area of low pressure around the weekend of the 10th of the 11th. I think 11th of March is Mothering Sunday as well, so be a lot of people want to go out and about, and that's not what you want to see on Mothering Sunday, because look at that, a real dose of snow again across many parts of England and Wales before it all clears away. So again, it's not a straightforward get out of the freezer. This is going to moderate. It's already starting to moderate very far south southwest. We'll continue that moderation of the cold over the weekend into next week. What's likely to happen is that by day, for England and Wales anyway, by day it's likely to thaw. By night it could freeze, continue to freeze at night, but gradually we'll lower the snow depth and we'll sort of slowly thaw things out. Scotland may never truly thaw things out, I have to say. And then we go through to the end of next week. There is still the potential there to pull that cold air back in from the north. Might not produce quite that sort of snow event, but certainly there is a risk here through the first half of March that we could have more wintry potential at times. And then maybe as we go into the second half of March, that's when spring will properly start to show its hand a little bit. That's what JMA Friday suggested could happen anyway. Right, that's all videos done and dusted for today. Come back tomorrow when we've got the weekend forecast, but we'll start off tomorrow with the March month-end forecast from Gazwavids. You'll see what we're predicting for March. Right, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.